you doing today? Do you feel like doing a little bit of DIYing with me? Come on in. Let's get started. Are you somebody who loves to not only receive a homemade, handmade gift, but you love to gift them? I am definitely somebody who likes to add that homemade, handmade touch onto whatever gifts it is that I am gifting. And for this holiday season, do I have a bunch of DIYs that are not only easy to do, but they are gifts that anybody would absolutely love to receive. So I'm gonna quit my yapping. Let's jump into it and let me show you a bunch of easy DIY gift ideas that you should most definitely try and gift this holiday season. Let's get to it. Alrighty, so getting started. Yes, Walmart has these pre-packaged, or is it pre-packaged? They're packaged by Walmart. It's called Santa Mix. I went ahead and separated the dark chocolate from the white chocolate and the M&Ms and thought it would be fun just to kind of layer it. This is a larger mason jar. You can get these mason jars at Michael's. They are on sale about this time every year. I want to say that this size jar is $2 and the smaller size jar is on sale for $1 right now. These are not ball mason jars. I want to say that these are Kerr mason jars, which is a bit less expensive than the ball. You're paying for the brand name, and so I don't mind. I think a mason jar is a mason jar. Once I've got it layered, I'm gonna go ahead and replace the lid, and digging into my fabric stash, I picked out some fun Christmas fabric that I just kind of cut a circle out of using my peeking shears just to kind of add some decorative edges to it, and of course using some twine. This wouldn't be one of my DIYs without twine. What else would you hold the fabric on with other than twine? Okay, ribbon, but we're gonna go with twine. I'm gonna use that, wrap it several times around the ring part of the lid just to hold on that fabric. This really is for the decorative feature part because you can still take the lid on and off because it's on the ring itself. And so that's the key here. And of course, I'm gonna finish this off with a twine bow that is several strands thick just to give this bow some substance. Look at how stinking cute this is. I love it. Now, I did put the Kerr part in the back. Not sure why I did that. I'll probably fix it later, but this is fun. It's missing a tag. These are tags that Linda and I designed that are available in her Etsy store for instant digital download or to be cut and sent to you. I will show you the options that you have for these tags here in a second. These tags come with existing holes in them so you can attach some twine. Yes, and put it right here on the side of your jar, letting everybody know that this jar is full of Santa snack. And there's even a little space there at the bottom that says to and from that you can fill in yourself. Here are your tag options. We've got some simple ones that just have the name of the items that I filled my jars with. If you want to go a bit more detailed, which is what I ended up doing, we've got the name of the item and the directions of what you need to add to these items. And if you want to fill in your own tags, we've got some blank ones for you too. Options. We are all about options here. These tags are available in Linda's Etsy store for instant digital download or for her to cut and send you the tags with free shipping. You can find the link to Linda's Etsy store, guess where? Yes, in the description box below. For this next one, I'm keeping it easy again. I'll be using some of this chocolate chip cookie mix by Betty Crocker. You're getting 20% more in this one. If you want to be tenacious and make your own mix from scratch, I say do it. This bag cost me about $1.50, which is a great buy. You pair that with the jar and the mix, you've got a really budget-friendly gift to give, especially if you don't want to gift everybody chocolate chip cookies. I think this is a perfect mix for it. Again, it's gonna go in one of the larger jars. We've got the chocolate chip cookie tags that are designed for this bag of cookies themselves, which gives the exact directions that are given on the back of the packaging itself. And so I didn't want two tags hanging off of my jar, and so I thought I'd put some double-sided tape on the back of my tags and just kind of stick them together, making it a double-sided tag. Perfect, right? Saving room. We've got the name of it on the back side. We've got the instructions. It's a win-win. Again, using some twine and attaching it, we're done. Easy peasy, lemon squeezy. Now this next one is a fun one. Who doesn't love cake? I love chocolate cake, especially when you can put chocolate cake in a mug and make it in the microwave. Easy, quick and easy. For these, you're just gonna need a smaller mason jar. That box comes with 4 of these packs that measure out at 1/4 of a cup each. I measured them before I poured it in the mason jar. All 4 of these packs are gonna fit perfectly in this smaller size mason jar, with a little bit of room to spare, but nobody's gonna see that because we're gonna put the lid on. We're gonna add our fabric. These mug cakes came with some frosting on the side. I didn't really know what to do with them, so I'm just gonna gift the frosting on the side with the jar. In this jar, like I said, you're getting 4 servings of mug cake, and the directions are right there on the back. For this next one, I'm showing using Twizzlers. If I'm being honest, red vines are so much better than Twizzlers. To each his own, potato. But because these were cut up for video purposes, I decided to just go ahead and use the Twizzlers. We're gonna pour some in a smaller mason jar. Guess where I'm going with this? Taking some of Dollar Tree's black ribbon. I'm gonna wrap some right around the middle here. What does this look like? Maybe Santa Claus? Yes. For the lid, I wanted something white. Had some of Dollar Tree's felt in my stash, so just freehanding a circle, cutting the circle, freehand cutting the circle with my peeking shears. I'm gonna go ahead and cut out that circle that's gonna go right here on the top lid. For this one, I added some hot glue to the ring because for whatever reason, this felt just kept sliding around. It wasn't staying in position very well. To tie it onto the ring itself, I didn't want to add any colored ribbons, so I just cut a strip of the felt and wrapped it around just to give it that ruffled look there on the top. Perfect. And to this, we did add an embellishment of a gold belt buckle to add to the belt itself. That comes in the embellishment pack that you can get from Linda's Etsy store. Did I tell you? It's available in instant digital download, or for her to cut and send you the embellishments with 3 different choices with free shipping. And I am, in fact, adding the tag with some twine because it needed twine. It totally needed twine. And yes, of course, hot cocoa. Swiss Miss has this canister, 31 servings in it. It's under $5. You're gonna get 5 of these small mason jars full of hot cocoa just buying this one canister, which is amazing and budget friendly. So I'm gonna go ahead and fill this up. Once I fill this up, we can't just give hot cocoa with hot cocoa. Oh, no. We've gotta add some peppermint. If you don't have any crushed peppermint, just take some candy canes, crush them up with a rolling pin or a hammer, get some frustration out, and go ahead and pour it on top of your hot cocoa mix. And of course, we're gonna top it off with some mini marshmallows. And like I said before, each of the tags that I made that show the instructions or directions on how to make it are based on the products that I buy. Now, if you're somebody who doesn't like hot cocoa, maybe you like hot apple cider. You can get this box that has 10 pouches at the Dollar Tree or at Walmart. I didn't find a canister of it, so I just opened up the pouches. 10 pouches filled up this mini size mason jar just fine. What's great is apple cider is only $1 a box, so budget friendly. I did measure out each of these pouches and I wanna say it came out to a couple tablespoons. Again, the directions are on the back of the tag as to how to make it, how much cider mix you're gonna need for each cup of hot apple cider. Maybe you don't like hot cocoa or apple cider. Fill it with some tea bags. That would be another fun option as well, and you could utilize a blank tag to do that. I love these. How fun are these? So fun. Yes, we have to have gingerbread cookies. Walmart has this great value brand. 1 pouch fits perfectly in one of the smaller mason jars. Again, just by adding it to this mason jar and adding a tag, look at how fun this is to gift. It doesn't get any quicker and easier, and who wouldn't love to receive this? This next one is so fun and is perfect for kids because Great Value brand has this green pancake and waffle mix. How fun is that? I saw this, absolutely loved it.
actually picked this one up for Allison. Her elves are gonna give this to her. So I picked up 2 boxes because 2 boxes fit perfectly in the larger jar. It also came with some fun sprinkles, so I added the sprinkles to a Ziploc baggie that I'm just gonna tie off with some twine. If you wanna add this to the side of the jar, you totally could, or you could just gift it on the side. You need sprinkles with those fun green pancakes or waffles, right? What kid wouldn't love to receive magical green pancakes or waffles? What a fun gift, right? Maybe just change the fabric. This next one is another one of my favorites. Yeah, it says Epic S'mores Brownie Kit by Duncan Hines, and that's just what it is. Have you ever tasted these? They are amazing. Everything you need to make these comes in this kit. We've got the crust, we've got the brownie mix, we've got the marshmallows, and we've even got a little pouch of fudge. You're gonna need the larger size mason jar for this. I went ahead and started off by adding the brownie mix itself, which left us plenty of room for the crust. I decided to put the crust in a Ziploc baggie just because it made it easier to put it in the jar. We need to separate the crust from the brownie mix. We don't want it to be mixed. So by doing it this way, it totally worked. Then I just topped it off with none other than the miniature marshmallows. Yes, closed it up and look at here. We've got an Epic S'mores brownie in a jar with the directions on the back of this tag, and I did add, I guess, the frosting or the fudge to the side in the gift bag for this. We gotta put a bread or a muffin mix in a jar. I'm going with this banana bread by Pillsbury. Pillsbury's got 3 different types of bread, a cranberry and a gingerbread. You pick your poison. It's gonna fit perfectly in the smaller mason jar, finished off with a fun tag. How fun are these? I told you. For today's personalized DIY, I'm gonna be using these, what I'm gonna call a 4-inch foam ball. I'm also gonna be using some of this fusible cotton fabric sheets. You're gonna get 10 sheets. This is by Taylor. You can get these at Joann's, Michael's, Hobby Lobby. Make sure to take a coupon. You're gonna pay under $10 for them. They're less than $1 a sheet. You've got fabric on one side and you've got that adhesive that irons on the other. You're gonna pick out a picture that you wanna use for this DIY personalized gift. You're gonna print it out on some cardstock in the wallet size. Once you print it out on your cardstock, it's gonna show you exactly where it's gonna print. Now you can go ahead and tape those scraps of fabric that you have, that infusible fabric, onto your cardstock, pop it into your printer. I'm using an inkjet, not sure how it works for laser. Works perfect for inkjet, as you can see, and it printed it out perfectly. I need to cut this down to size, so to do that, I want to use a circle. I found this glass that was the perfect size. Gonna go ahead and trace it on my picture and cut it out. You're gonna need some fabric for this DIY because hence this is a quilted DIY, personalized DIY. Doesn't matter what size, you're just gonna wanna cut a couple pieces because you need to cover one side of the styrofoam ball because this is where we're gonna put our picture. Making it personalized, yes. This is one of those DIYs that works perfect for any of that scrap fabric you may have, so I dug into mine. This is a fabric that you've seen me use all season for my fall and harvest DIYs and now the Christmas ones. I'm gonna do a bit of patchwork because it's not gonna show. We need an area covered on the foam ball that's big enough for what is going to be the picture, where we adhere the picture onto. I'm using hot glue for this part because I just am. It's easier, it's quicker. When you're adhering or applying the fabric onto the foam ball, you're gonna wanna kinda do it on the snugger side. You don't want it to have any ripples. You don't want that fabric to be anything other than smooth on that ball. Once you've got that fabric good and applied onto your ball, you're gonna go ahead and apply your picture. Now, I will tell you, this picture, I had to take it off of a ball before because I wasn't quite happy with the colors that I used. So the infused part is no longer on it, but you can very easily iron it onto your fabric before you put the fabric onto your ball, or you can just hot glue it like I am. Now, there is a bit of fabric cutting that needs to be done for this DIY. You're gonna need 2 by 2 inch squares of fabric in any pattern, in any color. You pick, you coordinate. This is your DIY, so you're gonna make it your own. If you ask me how many you're gonna need, I honestly couldn't tell you. Just cut a fair amount, because once you do one of these DIYs, you're gonna wanna do several, and you're also going to need some straight pins. You can get these at Walmart. You're gonna take a straight pin and you're gonna place it right in the middle on the back side of your fabric. So you have something that looks like this, no need for perfection. Then at the top point of your picture, you're gonna go ahead and place that straight pin right down into your ball like so. Then we're gonna take our fabric and we're gonna fold it in half, just like this. Now you're gonna wanna do this as straight as you can. When there's a point on something, you can really tell when it's off, so you want it to be as straight as you can. Then we're gonna take the sides and fold them in, just like this here. We're gonna take a straight pin and we're gonna hold down that side. Then we're gonna take the other side, fold that over, and yes, guess what? We're gonna pin that down as well. You should be left with something that looks like this, and if it doesn't, you've done something wrong, so you need to redo it. So we've got this top piece here. Now we need to do a bottom piece down here at the bottom of the picture, the bottom point. And you're gonna wanna, again, line up these points as evenly or as straight as you can. And so again, I'm gonna go ahead and place my straight pin in, and you will see that I used a thimble to do that, because once you've done a few of these balls, pushing in those straight pins, your finger starts to hurt a bit. And so I found that just by using a thimble and pushing it in, yeah, it saves you from that. So you can see I went ahead and put this bottom point in, I folded it in. My edges, I'm gonna again take my straight pins and place them right in the bottom, holding those side flaps down. And yes, again, this is what you should be left with, something that looks exactly like this. I feel like the best way to describe how to place these fabric squares is to think of your ball as having 4 points. You've got the top point, the bottom point, and the 2 side points. And that is where you're going to place your squares. And that's gonna kind of be relative to how we do the whole ball. And so you'll kind of see what I mean here in a bit. Here you can see I'm going ahead and I am placing my 2 side points and pinning down those inside flaps. Yes. Once we've got those 4 fabric pieces, those initial 4 fabric pieces placed in the, 4 points of the picture, we're gonna rotate the ball, which then in turn gives us 4 more points. You can see the gaps that we have on each side. So when the ball is placed this way, you're going to see that there is this bottom point that I am starting off with, then there's the top point and the 2 side points that we are again going to place more of our fabric squares, overlapping them onto the original pieces that we put. You can see here that the points kind of overlap, and you kind of want that look and you want to be consistent with it, because it's going to make a difference on how the pattern of the fabric looks at the end. I will apologize now for how repetitious this DIY is, because it is just that, but I'm gonna walk you through how to do the whole DIY, because I kind of need to if you want to have a good outcome with this personalized quilted DIY ornament ball that you're gonna gift people. Your ball should look like this, and if it doesn't, again, you need to fix it. There's a bit of tidying up that needs to be done. When I do this part of the tidying up on the ball, I like to use hot glue because it cuts down on the use of the straight pins. And at some point when you're using a lot of straight pins and you're pushing the straight pins into the fabric, they start hitting other straight pins and it makes it a bit harder to do. So I like to use hot glue. If you don't want to use hot glue, you can totally, again, go with the straight pins. But again, the hot glue is also a bit quicker and it holds just as well. So I'm gonna put a bit of hot glue on all the corners there just to get them nice and laid down flat. We want those flat. We don't want them popping out everywhere. Again, it's gonna make proceeding on with this DIY easier because everything is, yes, tidy. Once we've got the first half of this ball done, well, really it's not the first half because we're gonna come back to it. We're gonna wanna work on the other half of the ball, and you're gonna wanna find the center point that kind of goes through the ball, if you will. And so because I'm a perfectionist and I like it to be just so, I'm gonna place a straight pin here, just marking that spot so I don't lose where the center point is. Yeah, I'm a bit of a perfectionist. Yep, I think that's it. That looks like it's the center on both sides. So yeah, let's move on. Where that straight pin once was, I'm gonna go ahead and place my first fabric square right smack in the middle because there's no image on this side, so we don't need to go around the image itself. We're just gonna make that center point the center point of the back of our personalized DIY ornament ball. Did I say that you're gonna wanna make and gift to everybody because it's so easy, budget friendly, and the outcome is amazing. Once you've got those first 4 pieces down where all the points are meeting there in the center, you see how I did that? Again, I'm gonna go in with some hot glue and just hot glue down those edges because I like it tidy. Again, I'll say it again, yes, repeating myself. If you wanna use straight pins because I know somebody out there is gonna say, why didn't you just use straight pins? Because I didn't want to, I wanted to use hot glue. It's faster and it cuts down on straight pins. Did I say that yet? Yeah. Now we're gonna give this ornament pattern some personality, and to do that, where each of the fabric squares meet, or the points meet, the edges meet, that's where I'm gonna place my next set of squares, using the 4 points again as a reference or a guide as to where we're gonna place our next set of fabric squares. I'm using a coordinating fabric because it's fun to just kind of mix up each of the rows or the layers, I guess, if you will. And so I'm gonna place it just the same way that I did the buffalo check ones. And yeah, again, these are fabric squares that were in my stash. If you ask me where I got this fabric, I'm gonna wanna say Walmart last year. It wasn't this year. The buffalo check was this year. Okay, so you can see here that I've placed my first one, and again, on the opposite side, I'm gonna place the top point, and then I'm gonna go ahead and place my 2 side points as well. And again, this is what you should be left with. So from here, I am going to place my next 4 fabric squares in these 4 points here. And so yeah, I'm gonna place it just a bit lower than I did the last 4 points you can see here, which is then in turn going to give us kind of a cross, if you will, which will then leave your ball looking like this. Now we're back to the original side, the other side of our ball. We need to add another row of fabric because we need our 2 sides to meet in the middle of the ball, and that's where we're going. So you're gonna keep applying rows of fabric squares to each of the 4 points, but each side really has 8 points, if you will, because you put the 4, you rotate your ball, and you've got 4 more, and you're gonna do that until the 2 sides of your foam ball meet, the fabric meets. I'm gonna take a piece of fabric and I'm gonna fold it into the width of what a decorative ribbon would be. And I'm using the coordinating fabric that I already used in this DIY because I ended on the buffalo check. And so I thought that this would be the perfect, I guess, ribbon or fabric to cover up that seam with. Again, if you wanna use ribbon, you can totally do that. If you wanna use burlap, use burlap. I would say twine, but it's not thick enough. So just go with like a burlap, a ribbon, or a fabric. You're gonna get the width that you need to cover up that seam, and in my case, it's a little bit over a 1/2 inch in width because you really kind of wanna cover up all those edges of the fabric that we hot glued down. Then you're gonna take your fabric or your ribbon and you're just gonna hot glue it down, wrapping it around that center part of the ball. Before you completely hot glue that ribbon or that fabric down around that outside edge of your ball, you're gonna wanna place a hanger. And so I'm gonna use this red ribbon that I got from the Dollar Tree. I'm gonna hot glue it down to that center part of the ball there. And so when I take my fabric and hot glue it down the rest of the way around the ball, it's gonna cover up that ribbon, giving this a nice finished look. Okay, seriously, would you look at the outcome of this? So easy, so budget friendly, and the outcome is amazing. This wood box is the perfect size. This is one by Art Minds. You're gonna pay under $5 for it, and Michael's does in fact still have a 20% off coupon, so make sure you use it. To this box, I'm gonna add some Minwax in the color of Early American Stain. I wanna keep that wood finish, and I feel like staining this is gonna be a lot easier than painting it, and again, I'm gonna get to see the wood grain in this box. And so yes, that's what I love most about using stain. That's why I use stain. Why do you use stain? Would you look at the color of this box? It's perfect. It couldn't be any more perfect. Now, when using a Minwax like the one I use, there is no greasy or oily residue left over, so I am good to go ahead and place my vinyl on my box. Using a Cricut scraper is really the easiest way to get that vinyl to adhere onto this box. To the inside of this box, I did add a piece of coordinating felt because I felt like it needed it, like it added to the box. This here is the journal that I am using today. It's got what I'm gonna call a nice fake leather surface, which is perfect for adding vinyl to. There are several different types of journals. You've got lines and dots. Kayla likes to use the dots because she makes her own calendars. Michael's really is the place to get these because a lot of times you can buy one, get one 50% off, and you're gonna make that Cricut work for you. You're gonna make it pay for itself because you can make all of these budget-friendly gifts. You're gonna pick up several of these journals and you're gonna personalize them, and look at how easy it is. I tell you, the vinyl really loved the surface of these journals, so it was super easy to do. Once I put that transfer tape on there, it really didn't take much work at all to get it to adhere to this journal. I gift these journals all the time. Here at the bottom, I typically will put the person's name just to personalize it a bit more. If there's a special saying that you have with that special someone, maybe add that to the cover of this journal and really add that personal touch to it. You're gonna pick up one of these wood wall signs, again at Michael's. You're gonna use your 20% off coupon, and you're gonna pay about $7 for this sign without the coupon. I'm gonna go in with some of Waverly's chalk paint in the color of cashew, and I'm gonna give this wood sign a good couple coats of this paint. Once I got my vinyl onto the transfer tape, I did cut down my pieces quite a bit just to make it a bit easier to place my vinyls, and I am using a ruler. I know it's not something I typically do, but when I am gifting something, I do use a ruler just to make sure that it is good and straight. Once I've got it in place, I'm gonna take that scraper tool and I'm gonna go over the top of that transfer tape, adhering the vinyl onto my wood plaque, and it's gonna come off super easy because it's on a painted wood finish. One of my favorite finishes to apply a vinyl to because it really adheres nicely. This plaque is not done. I'm not gonna go in with stitching, but I am gonna go in with a sponge dabber and add kind of a decorative edge using my new favorite brown paint by Apple Barrel, the chocolate sprinkles. Oh my word, that color is everything. It is such a rich espresso dark chocolate. I love it. And so it's gonna match perfectly with the brown vinyl. It's gonna finish off the edges of this plaque so nicely, and it's gonna add so much to this. Definitely use a sponge dabber. It's the easiest way to apply, I guess, a decorative finished edge, a painted decorative finished edge to a piece like this. Don't worry about it being an even coating. The more uneven it is, the more personality and character that it's gonna bring to your plaque. Those uneven painted decorative edges add everything to this plaque. Dollar Tree's got these oval wood beads. These are a nice, rich, dark brown that I think are gonna add even more to this piece. So I went ahead and strung a few onto some twine because I really wanted to add more of that brown and kind of have a hanger. You could use maybe a satin ribbon if you wanted to, but since I had these beads, I thought that these would be perfect, adding that rustic feel to it. And just that easily, we made a really nice decorative hanger for this plaque using these wood beads that you can get from Dollar Tree and just adhering it onto the back of the plaque with a ton of hot glue. I love how easy these are to make, and look at that. You can really get creative with these.
I hope you all enjoyed my DIY gift ideas on a budget. I hope it inspired you to DIY your own gifts for this holiday season. If you're looking for more holiday DIY gift idea inspiration, you're gonna wanna stay tuned for some of my upcoming videos that I will be bringing to you, I'd say, over the next couple of weeks. because boy oh boy have I been DIYing in overdrive, and do I have some amazing DIY gift ideas in store for you. Until next time everybody, I hope you have a fantastic day. Happy crafting on a budget. Stay happy, stay safe, stay healthy, but most of all, stay positive please, because I sure as heck am. Bye for now everybody.